Hello, hi. Um, my name is Wen Xiong. Okay, I'm Associate Director in Seville, Singapore, and today I'm going to present to you new scheme in Manchester. But before that, this presentation is targeted to the Singaporeans, investors in particular. Let me share this screen with you. Okay, I'm both a property agent and also an investor myself. So I've invested in all these three categories here, which is in the UK, also industrial in Singapore, and also the SG residential. All right. So let me just go through with you some comparison, some between these three investment. If you have limited funds and you want to put to put your money and make your money work hard for you, where will you put? So let me just present to you the facts, and so that you will be informed, and then before you make the decision. Okay, so basically, let me go through with you. Basically, for a lot of Singaporeans, right? Of course, first they have to buy their HDB, and all that. Usually, the progression is they buy their HDB, they marry, raise a family, and they have enough funds, they upgrade and all those things. But if let's say you have more funds and you have you want to invest in something, because in Singapore residential, as we know, due to the ABSD, the additional buyer stamp duty, you cannot buy more than two, husband one, wife one, and you can't buy more than that. And also, just because of that, yeah, I mean, you have to rely on some other asset class, for maybe industrial or commercial. Okay, but we know that office space is quite expensive in Singapore. Then you have to see whether you want to do retail or industrial. Retail scene is not doing, I'm not sure whether it's doing very well at the moment. Okay, and office as well, it has not recovered fully after the COVID. So probably I would compare it against industrial, which is the B1 and B2 space in Singapore. Okay, so basically, if you compare, you can, I mean, industrial is a great investment proposition here in Singapore. Just that, let me just state to you the some pros and cons for industrial properties. Okay, that includes workshops, car workshops, furnitures. That's B2, and also B1 offices. Yeah, and even things like HDB shop house and all that. HDB shop house, even that quantum probably will set you back about 2 million something already. If you can nego low, maybe you can get it slightly below, but it's still quite a big sum, yeah, for HDB shop house. Okay, so basically for Singapore industrial, the pros is like you have, I mean, the low interest environment is very conducive for investors. We know that, and decent cash flow you can get. Yeah, just I think decent cash flow part is because the leasehold is low, probably like 30, 50 years maximum. 30 years nowadays. I think they only want to do until 30 years nowadays, even the new ones. And because of that, the yield is higher. Okay, the yield is higher. If you buy from the secondary market, you are lucky you get below market, then you can get decent cash flow, your pocket money, your income replacement, that to say. So you can build your portfolio over time and you can get this cash flow for maybe 10, 20 years. Okay, which is good enough. Okay, it will last your lifetime. Okay. And on top of that, you can get high LTV. The banks, they can get even 70, 80% in some, I mean, if you have an operating company, you can get 90% loan. That makes your money even work harder for you, which is good as well. Of course, you have low tax because the Singapore government, they want to encourage the SMEs to be able to create jobs for Singaporeans, right? So tax is favorable as well. And you can buy multiple, okay? SG Industrial, good, okay? Just that a lot of Singaporeans cannot have a breakthrough in their mindset in these two factors, which is the leasehold, which is only like 30, 40 years, okay? And then they don't know what happened after that, right? So worst come to worst, we got nothing in the end, yeah? Whether en bloc is possible, maybe possible, but we don't nobody can commit, okay? And secondly, how you want to exit, can you exit at the high profits? I'm not very sure about that, because basically for industrial, it is more the demand is more for the end users, like the same industrial companies that they need to do cover shop, repair, warehouses, furnitures, lightings, and all those things. So these are the end users who usually they like to lowball, they're businessmen after all, so they can nego quite well. And also, it's usually the same pool of investors, buyers, buying onto all this for their cash flow or retirement fund. So that is the part that is most Singaporeans are not able to break through in terms of why they should buy industrial, and then after 30 years, then they got nothing to show for it, you see. Okay. Alternatively, okay, there is the UK Manchester, which is another country altogether in UK, United Kingdom. Okay, so just to elaborate slightly, basically for the UK Manchester, yeah, Manchester, I'm talking about Manchester now because the price probably, I mean, even then for Singapore residential, you cannot compare with these two, because Singapore residential easily $1 million Sing, whereas industrial and UK Manchester, the price is about the same, maybe $500,000 you can get already. Okay, so UK Manchester, for example, there is deferred payment. You only need to pay 10-20%, usually 20% deposit. The rest is all completion 3 years later. Okay, because the developer, they don't need your money to build. They got their own fund and financing to build. Low deposit as a result. And also there's a current undersupply situation. I'm talking about resi, yeah? Not enough houses, not enough residential. A lot of rental demand, because in these cold countries, right, usually during the winter months, and the normal weather is already quite cold. And even then, if it's winter, then it's even colder. That's why the housing is become a very, very, is a necessity for them, you see. So there's a lot of demand situation, but they are not building enough. Okay, so that's the situation for Manchester. It's the same. You can buy a lot of properties in Manchester. The stamp duty will be the same. Same thing like industrial, SG Industrial, you can buy multiple, but you need to buy under the company name. Yeah, you need to set up company, employee, corporate secretary, and all that. For UK Manchester, you can buy under your name, or you can buy under maximum of 4 names. Yeah, but very low. And low taxes also, low taxes for UK Manchester, not so high. The cons is high interest rate for now is coming down quickly. Okay, if the locals are finding it out, a lot of locals are renting at the moment, because they would rather rent now, because renting is cheaper than buying, easy, because of the high interest rate. But when the interest rate goes down, that's when they will buy. And we are at the turning point now, whereby people are starting to relook into the whole buying residential for investment in UK again. And of course, the Labour government, which is maybe not that bad at all. Also, same like in Singapore, because the government, they want to, they have things like progressive tax and all that, so that the people in the lower income, they will be more taken care of. There's more equity in that sense. And I think one of the risky thing about investing overseas would be definitely the currency risk. We see the pound sterling, even Malaysia, you see, Malaysia ringgit and all that are coming down quite a bit, than years before. So in a way, also this helps because you put 10% deposit only. Your exposure is only 10% or 20% deposit, and the rest is all maybe 3-4 years down later. Okay. And you take a pounds loan, you can take a pounds loan, so pounds for pounds, and you don't have the currency risk. So even cheaper now than when you buy when it was at a high a few years ago in terms of the currency. So I'm not sure how low where the pound sterling goes, but it's already very quite low now. At one point it was like a decade ago about $2. Right now probably around $1.06, $1.07. Yeah, came down quite a bit. So take advantage of the low pound sterling now to come in and invest yeah. So I've given you an overview of all the not very detailed, but the important differences between these three asset classes. Okay, so you can decide for yourself which one you want, which one you prefer. Just on the Singapore residential loan, the stamp duty alone, probably you can get something in Manchester already if you buy a expensive residential. And Singapore residential foreigners even cannot buy 60% ABSD. How to buy, right? So actually the government is pushing the locals to invest elsewhere, and because there's little avenue of investments, people are starting to do stupid things and invest in things like crypto or a lot of funny investment. Stick to the property because property is quite safe relatively compared to things like options trading, short selling, stocks investment, and although it's good as well, but I don't think you will invest all your eggs in that basket as well because it's quite risky compared to the rest. So do consider UK Manchester, and I'm going to start proper now in terms of representation for Manchester property. So let me open that for you. Okay, so let me just go through the Falcon, Red Bank, Riverside by FEC. This is what we will be showcasing this weekend at the Four Seasons. This is the first phase, okay? First stage. We are buying from the developer direct. Okay, so let me just go through what will. It's a short walk from the Victoria Station. I will show you the location map later. It's near to the New City River Park as well. Okay, that's how the development look like. There's actually a big regeneration here. You have 15,000 new homes, over 155 hectares. Okay, it's a JV with the government as well, Manchester City Council, over £1 billion, and central government investment also. They pump in £52 million. There's a big, huge city river park, and the community will be over 30,000 people with new schools, healthcare facility, and transport link. It's a biggest urban renewal project. Okay, so if you look at the screen here, you see that red bank. That is where our Falcon building sits. Okay, this is the first phase of the many. Okay, meaning to say you get the first choice at the lower prices before they launch subsequent blocks is the one that is nearest to the Manchester Victoria station as well. Okay, so yep, so going on, this is the one community, three distinct neighborhoods. So in Manchester, this developer, they're building a township, basically, not just a standalone building in Singapore. They are building a township, so there are three neighborhoods. Yeah, that's how the neighborhood look like on the left. I won't elaborate more. You can read for yourself. I've highlighted the important points. Okay, they need 170,000 new homes. Okay, by 2038, and they are falling short of that. falling short of that, not even half. There's huge economic growth. There's new jobs created. 2.8 million Greater Manchester population. All right. So at this point, I want to stress UK. I believe their birth rate is quite decent, higher than Singapore. That's why the population is ever increasing. And they have things like internal migration and all that to find jobs and everything. So population is also increasing. And usually if you have kids and you bring and let them study in UK, the ladies, your daughters, usually they love it so much they don't want to come back. So they settle down there and get married there and everything. So that's why the population go up, and the population go up means what? Property growth goes up 20% there. Yeah. Rental growth is 20%. Can you imagine that's 20% since the end of 2019? That means COVID time, the rent went up 20%. And not only in Manchester, it's also the same thing in London. Okay, and also in terms of the future, these are the companies that's already invested in Manchester. Yeah. Largest student populations, 110,000 students, many from China. So the Chinese, they send their kids here to study, and attracted major national like Amazon, Google, BBC. Okay. Noma, which is the CBD, it's just 5-minute walk from this place, Red Bank. So they expect 24,000 new jobs upcoming. Okay, so these are the sexy pictures. Manchester United, Man U fans, you should invest here as well. These are the restaurants, culture, education, and the connectivity wise, from the Red Bank Riverside, London, you're just 2 hours from the Piccadilly train station, 2 hours, it's quick. Airport will be half an hour from Victoria Station. If you walk to the CBD, there's 9 minutes walk, okay? University of Manchester, which is the top 100 universities worldwide, that's 24 minutes by bus. Retail district, shopping, Orchard Road, that's 15 minutes walk. Because Manchester City is not big, it's quite small. It's like about probably, I don't know whether I think slightly bigger than the whole of Orchard Road, maybe just the whole district 9, probably that kind of size, you see. You can walk the whole of the city, and it's a destination in itself. It's not as huge as London, but it's that city center is the important hub for everyone, for work, job, play, live, work, and play. Yeah. Okay, so Victoria Station is 10 minutes walk only from here. Okay, so that's the Falcon building there. To your right is Victoria Riverside, which is completing soon, 2025, there about next year. Falcon will be from the center to the left. Yeah, this one will be in completing in maybe 4, 5, 6, about 3 years there about. Yeah, that's, you see, the Falcon that is red color. That's the first phase out of that many building which they are going to launch in future. So usually what happens is they will benchmark the prices from the earlier phases. So that implies what? You come in at the lower prices. Then when everything is built up and the community is already built and the amenities and the infrastructure has all been built, of course the price will be different, right? So you come in when it's still nothing there. And when it's completed, it'll be very, very a new neighborhood. It's like Tanjong Pagar when revamp, and you think Tanjong Pagar is very nice, but this is even better. And that's how they do things in the UK. They change the whole neighborhoods. So they have their own clubhouse also on the left there that you can use with all the facilities. And the best thing is that this part of the face is actually close to the River Irk there. There's a river, there's a waterfront kind of living. Okay, so going on to next. Of course, you have high street, supermarket, and day-to-day essential within easy reach. That's how the ground floor courtyard looks like around it, with all the shops and everything, F&B, coffee, breakfast, bagels. You can just buy, go to the Tesco, whatever, just the ground floor there. And the clubhouse there with the gym and everything. Yeah. There's also a park, 46-hectare green space, largest park in Manchester, just nearby. Okay. Amenities wise, you have the club, you have bar and restaurant, fitness and wellness suite, co-working space, private dining space, resident lounge. Okay, so it's there. That's how the clubhouse reception looks like. This is the co-working space. There's the gym. This is the bar and restaurant in the clubhouse. Podium gardens. You can go up to the podium gardens and they can relax and socialize. So this is also the podium gardens right on Falcon's doorsteps. Okay, so this is how the apartments look like. Okay, of course, furniture you have to buy separately, but otherwise, all you can just move in. You just need to get your sofa, beds, table, and chairs. That's about it. Everything else is provided. Yeah. Yeah. So heating, they have mechanical ventilation and heat recovery system, wall-mounted electrical panel radiators, and blah, 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 everything. So these are all the specs, good specs. The thing about Manchester is the more high end it is quite actually quite demanded by the tenants. Like the recent ones, Deansgate is the one that's high performing in terms of the tenant, in terms of the rental performance. Yeah. FEC is trusted developer. Okay. They are, I think, one of the largest, if not the largest developer for Manchester, listed in Hong Kong Stock Exchange. They've done schemes including Meadowside and New Cross Central. Okay, so I've gone through the overview on the also what I have is this Savills report, which is the most unbiased so far amongst all the property consultancies reports. So you can, if you request from me, I can just send it to you. This is basically in detail what we have discussed earlier, and in much greater details on the statistics and how strong is the Manchester economy. Yeah, the spaces that they have rented. There's a flight to quality. Prime headline rent has increased to £43 per square foot in the city. The education, a lot of Chinese are coming down from China to study here. Is how connected it is to the rest of the world. Market overview, very, very nice, very good detail. And also the case study with real facts and figures. So you see 25% increase in 1.25 years for Coastal Wharf, Dean Square, Meadowside, Moda Penthouse. Manchester's residents do have appetite for high quality stock nowadays. That's their findings. Competitive tax environment. This is a good slide. Basically, in Singapore, you can see the cost of buying is super high because of the ABSD. Cost of holding maybe not high, but cost of selling not that high, but you pay to the government. The government is making a lot of money out of you. That's Singapore. Whereas other countries, you see, Hong Kong recently they've released all the property cooling measures, but I mean, it's a totally different environment from back then, So there's risk also involved. So you compare Berlin, Sydney, New York, Manchester. Manchester, you see, relatively quite affordable. Okay. Because the taxes is somewhere 7%, 8% thereabout. Yeah, which is okay for the stamp duty. Yeah. So outlook, low supply, rapidly increasing population for Manchester. So that's about it. Otherwise, these are the floor plan. They have already sold over 50 units in this 1 to 2 weeks alone. This is pre-sale. So come this weekend at our Four Seasons 11:20. come and have a coffee with some of us and my colleagues, and we will give you the best deals. Yep, I hope to see you there. Thank you very much for your time, and God bless. Bye.